Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. I feel it's so bright in here. I think it's the sun is out. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Let me put some lotion on. This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're not gonna be down here too long. Well, my plan is not to be down here too long. Anyways, we just gonna talk, y'all. I mean, part two was part two. I wasn't really. It wasn't nothing to write home about. I feel like most of it was about Kyle and Dorit going back and forth I don't know. I just felt like it was okay. I really felt like this reunion probably could have been two parts if we're gonna be honest. Anyways, Andy starts off asking Garcel because they went on a break. Andy asks Garcel, was there something you wanted to say? And then Garcel addresses Cal. Girl, what are we doing? Like, yeah, I wanted to say to Cal that it feels like you told me things off camera to shut me up. No, 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 no. Andy should have stepped in and said, well, no, I thought you needed to say something to Erica Jane. Because we're going to just call it for what it is. Garcel, you were just in the back wearing Erica Nay out. Okay? So the producers told me, hey, Garcel, I was told that you had something that you wanted to say to Erica Jane. Girl, let's start there. Then we could work our way to Kyle. But you were just cursing Erica Jane out, girl, for 5 minutes backstage. So what's Tisa's? You know? Um, I put Kyle is mismanipulation. She is. But back to what Garcelle said. You told me things off camera to shut me up. I don't know. Garcelle in a way reminds me of a Giselle. Like when it comes to the reunions, to me, I feel like Giselle is more so because she knows she's going to be protected and she's not going anywhere. But when it comes to just them being quick on their feet, like in my head, with Garcelle bringing up Kyle and her trying to shut me up, I would have thought that after Kyle said what she said, she would have brought Dorit in it because you did the same thing that you did to me and Sutton off camera that you did to girl, Miss Dorit. But the simple fact that Garcelle didn't even go down that road to try to show that this is what Kyle does, I thought was weird to me. I'm like, I don't know. It was just weird to me. What about the people who say you're on a reality TV, so tell your business? This is the thing. Kyle, that's what Andy asked Kyle. Kyle says she's not going to say something that could affect her daughter's lives for a network TV show ratings if it's going to hurt someone I care about. Now, girl, listen, I wasn't there, so I don't know because I didn't start watching, really until season 10, like that, like that, like that. But from what the people say, Miss Kyle Richards, you Mansky, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but from what the people say online, that Kyle didn't have a problem throwing her good sister Kim under the bus for the TV show, for the network, for the ratings. Girl, can I say something? Listen, I'm gonna say something and I'm not gonna take it back. Shout out to Dr. Heavenly. She said I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna say something and I ain't gonna take it back. Kyle using her daughters as a reason to not want to discuss her relationship with Morgan, I think is BS. Girl, I'm almost sure that 1 out of 4 of your daughters have had their own lesbian experience. Girl, I wouldn't put it past Portia. The way the boys and girls are experimenting with their sexuality in high school now. Girl, I wouldn't put it past Portia. Girl, I wouldn't put it past Farrah. What's the other one's name? Anna. I don't know. What's the name? Keisha. I don't know them kids' names. I really don't. I know Portia and Farrah. The other two I don't know. It's weird to me because Kyle is a woman of a particular age who lives in Los Angeles in 2025. I understand that your sexuality, especially if it's your sexuality, it can be a journey. So I completely understand that. But the way that Cal acts is almost, it reminds me of that person who lives in a very small country town, right? And now you're going through the motion of, girl, am I gay? Am I not gay? Am I bi-curious? Do I like girls? Do I not like girls? Do I like boys? You know what I'm saying? Like, I could get it if Cal Group was in a small country town. But being that she's in Los Angeles, and girl, when I think of I'm not this. I don't know. It's just weird to me, like her environment and um, it being not 1983. Cal does not want to take responsibility for the fact that she did parade Morgan around on this TV show last year. And I see people online, I'm sorry. I see people online, people who are allies to the community, other LGBTQ folk wanting to paint this picture that Cal is just someone who you shouldn't force someone to come out the closet. Ain't nobody forcing Cal to do a goddamn thing. Cal is the one who came to this reality show. If Cal didn't want anyone in her business and she was really trying to figure out what was happening with her and her sexuality, she would not be parading that girl around to this very day, knowing that cameras are around, capturing her as she walks through, LA, Paris. She would have not had that girl on our TV screen, right? So, like, I don't think you can have it both ways. If I was going through dealing with my sexuality, the last thing, and I know people operate differently, but the last thing I would do is parade some man around and then get upset that somebody's asking me about this man, be in videos, tattoo the first letter of my name on his body. I'm going on international trips with this man. You can't have it both ways. And Kyle is trying to have her cake and eat it too. She really is. She's trying to have her coochie and eat it too. Okay. If you can't, I don't think that anyone on reality TV has to talk about every aspect of their life. There are some things I do think that should be off limits. If it's something like a SA, like I don't think the women should have to talk about if they experience, not experience, but if they unfortunately, you know, were SA'd. Some things I do think they should not be forced to talk about. But if you can't do something as simple as talk about your love life on a show that's titled The Real Housewives of, that's like the bare minimum. And okay, Morgan doesn't want to be on the show. Cool, right? I'm always conflicted about whether or not you should be on the show or not if the person doesn't want to be on the show. But Morgan doesn't want to be on the show. Cool. But Cal, you cannot keep coming onto this show and the information that we know, you feel like, oh, I can't talk about that part of my life. Girl, what? So you're supposed to just walk around with this lesbian. Girl. And everybody assumes that you're in some type past of friendship, right? But everybody thinks that this is more than just a friendship. And nobody's supposed to talk about, and we're supposed to just look at the pictures on TMZ and, E! News and, girl, Entertainment Tonight. Like, I don't get it. I think it's one thing for, like, Garcel. Garcel says she's not dating anybody. Like, okay, girl, I'm sure she probably screwed somebody here or there. But girl, that's nothing to bring on the show. But if Garcel was actually dating someone, I think that we should know. Even if that person doesn't want to be on TV, we should know Garcel is dating someone. What's going on with the status of this relationship? Who is he? Does he live in LA? Is it a long distance? Is he black, white? Right. Like, I think we should know those details. But if you're not dating anyone and you're just kind of just screwing, opening your legs up every now and again, that's something I don't think that's necessarily needed. Anyways, Um, Morgan has anxiety with being on the show. I will say this much. I do understand that this is a situation where you don't get to control, like, you don't have any control over how they're going to show you. Morgan being on the show, from what I remember last season, I wouldn't have thought that it was a bad thing. Morgan was able to showcase her music. It's not like, in my opinion, again, Morgan probably thought she did, but it didn't appear to me that Morgan got a bad edit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like it kind of worked in your favor in a way, because now you have been exposed to more people. Is Morgan of this big superstar? Because I had never heard of her before until this show. But just because I haven't heard of her doesn't take away from the fact that she could still be well known outside of the show. The text messages. Kyle is messy. I don't know if y'all remember this, but when they were on that boat, Kyle told Garcel, "You know, PK texted me." That's how she said it. And I feel like, though, I feel like that's exactly what she said. So the way that she delivered the information to Garcel was messy. So Garcel, of course, goes back and tells her good sister Sutton, "Girl, you know Kyle said PK be texting her." Right? Because that's the way that Kyle delivered that information to Garcel. It was very messy, girl. So Kyle is going to have to, again, take accountability for you opening up this door, because Kyle did. Were the texts inappropriate? Oh, sorry, my eye. Sorry. Were the texts inappropriate? Not inappropriate in like a sexual way, but inappropriate because, girl, that's not your friend. Like, that's your friend due to you being friends with Dorit, right? You the friendship that you have is due to the friendship you have with the wife. And because you are texting things to PK, especially with Dorit going through what she's going through with PK, that's where the inappropriateness comes in. And then, Bose calls her out on, basically, "Girl, you're a liar." She says, "I'm not a liar," but you are, though. Girl, in this day, you lied. Girl, you're a liar today, because you did try and make it seem as though it was only memes and gifts. That's what she said. But then we turn around and, girl, you text a whole paragraph to the nigga. So it's just not memes and gifts, because it's literally a paragraph. So you did lie. I like. Now, I will say, the way that the girls, tried to paint it was as if it was almost an insinuation that it could have been something sexual with PK and Dorit. That's the way I think that's where their mind automatically went to, like, But again, Cal is going to have to own up, but Cal's not going to own up to anything. Cal is going to have to own up that this is what she did. This is what she did. She opened up this door. And then you lied. And then you got mad when the girl started questioning you. Bose tells her omissions equals lies. Oh, then why Kyle called PK right after PK, not PK, after Dorit and Kyle got into it in Oceanside? Girl, she went upstairs and called PK. PK was with Mauricio, but still. So I guess she was calling him to let him know that her and Dorit had just got into it. But see, and that's another thing, like Dorit, like, you don't text. I mean, you say you don't text him, but memes and gifts. Then we find out it's more than memes and gifts. And then you run upstairs and you tell him that I basically just got into it with your girl. You're like, Jennifer Tilly comes out. When I tell you, I absolutely love Jennifer Tilly. I really, really do. I didn't at first. Jennifer Tilly was just Jennifer Tilly to me on the show. Like, oh, there goes Jennifer Tilly, girl, whatever. I think Jennifer is a great addition to the show. I think that Jennifer Tilly, I have been seeing people scream, make her a housewife. No. Girl, that's the problem. Y'all want everybody to be a housewife. No, Jennifer Tilly is cool being a friend. If Marlo was still a friend, Marlo would probably still be a house. I mean, probably still be on Real Housewives of Atlanta if we're gonna be honest. Oh, girl, speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I mentioned this last night in my live. I went live last night. We had a good time. You know what? My lives we always have a good kiki. Well, I be having a good time. I don't know about nobody else. Okay. I'll be having a kiki. But anyway, it'd be funny. I'll be laughing the whole time. Girl, but anyway, but Jennifer Tilly, I did not know was a super fan of Housewives. And I mentioned this last night, and I'm going to mention it again. You know, the mess that's happening with Atlanta with G.I. Jane and Kenya Moore. G.I. Jane, for those who don't know who I'm talking about, is the newest cast member, Britt Eady. You know, she threatened Kenya. It was a veiled threat. You know, they got into an argument. Well, she got into an argument with Kenya. Girl. And she mentioned whips and pistols, and you could tell she's a fan of the show. You could tell that she's a fan of Kenya Moore, to the point where she was even mentioning her catchphrases in an argument with Kenya. Girl, a mess. And I realized that in 2025, there's more than likely, if you have joined the Housewives, you watched the show, right? I probably wouldn't believe anybody if I want to be honest today, if you told me that you haven't watched the Housewives and you're like a new housewife. I would probably think, are you lying? You watched at least a season or two. You know what I'm saying? And with Atlanta at one point being the biggest, you know, franchise, there's just no way that there's no way you have not watched Atlanta. But I think that if you're not able to disconnect from you being a fan, right? Once you become a housewife or a friend of, I don't think you should be on the show. Jennifer Tilly was able to disconnect from being a fan. You could tell she was excited even at the reunion, but again, throughout the season, I would have never guessed that she was a super fan of Housewives. I just would have never thought it, because you're going to have to know how to disconnect from being a fan to being, okay, well, now, girl, I'm here. Right? Like, I'm a housewife now. I'm a friend of the show, right? I think you could still have an appreciation and a love for the show, and even some of the people. You could still say, "Oh my God, I love you, Kenya," blah blah blah. But at some point, girl, the fan, the stand that Britt has with Kenya, this parasocial relationship that she has with Kenya Moore, is gonna have to come to an end. And I just feel like, again, if you're not able to disconnect from being a fan when you transition to being a housewife, you shouldn't be on the Housewives. You just shouldn't. If you can't do what Jennifer Tilly did, then you shouldn't be on the show. They talked about Jennifer Tilly's money. You know, the people say they don't really talk about money in on Beverly Hills. I can't tell. Girl. Because for the most part, they talk about Jennifer Tilly's pocket the whole goddamn time she was on stage. How much her shit cost, how much her purse cost, how much her necklace cost, how much you get from The Simpsons. Like, it was literally all about money. Is it expensive to me, man? Girl. She's really rich. Jennifer hit a lick. Yes. Jennifer is rich. She keeps all her jewelry not at home. She keeps her jewelry, I think, at a bank. Girl, you know, locked up where the rich people keep their stuff at. So don't even try to go to Jennifer Tilly's house think you about to get something, because you're not. Okay, they made sure to put that into the show. Girl, Jennifer Tilly does not keep her jewelry at her home. She asked Garcel when they came back from break, "Do you think Sutton is on anxiety medication?" Girl, Garcel said, "We're mic'd." Jennifer said, Kathy Hilton comes out with her purse. I love it. I think that's so old school. Girl, that's really old school. Like, that's black woman shit, if we're gonna be honest. Like, my grandmother used to keep, like, my grandmother wasn't going nowhere without her purse. Like, girl, that's really old. That's like old school. Like, the girls who walk around with their purses everywhere. That's why, like, low key, when Saucy Santana first came out, and Saucy Santana would walk everywhere with his purse, I loved it because it just reminded me of an older black woman, an older, clearly white woman too. Because like older people just walk around with their purse, like girl, you don't let nobody hold your purse, right? So when I would see Saucy Santana on stage with his purse, girl, performing, I absolutely love that. Anyways, Kathy, she comes out, girl, and she's basically they're talking about PJ. Girl, they're talking about PK and how he looked older at one point. She thought that he was much older. She thought that he was. I think she thought that he was his age now when she first met him. Okay. Um. But anyways, girl. And then Andy asks him about Kim. Let's talk about the husbands. Um. And they did a good job at really not going addressing Kim. You know, Kathy says she's doing fine. She's doing basically the best she can do. But you saw when he turned to Kyle and said, "Is that true?" You heard, girl. And then Kyle said, based off of the last, like the news that was reported, she's doing much better. And then you could tell she looked over to Kathy, and that was pretty much the end of it. Sutton weaponized what Dorit said. This is the thing. Sutton did weaponize what Dorit told her. She wants to act like she did. This is the thing. Could it be the truth that, girl, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life? Yes. But you're weaponizing what she said because you know her tea. You see what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't be able to say, if I'm upset, you wouldn't be able to say, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life if you ain't know my business. You see what does that make sense what I'm saying? So the simple fact that Sutton said that, it's because she knows Dorit's business. So how can I then really be open and honest with you after you just went on the boat, bitch? Because we was on the boat the other day and you were talking about lean on me when you're not strong. Girl, it's on. Girl, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Girl, for it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. I just call on me, sister, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem if you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. Girl, you were just on the boat telling Dorit she could lean on you. Remember? She said, girl, if you need some help, if you need me to walk you through this, if you need me to go with you to court, girl, I could be there with you. Just let me know, sister. And then you turn around and say, bitch, you ain't mad at me. You're mad at your raggedy ass life. Girl, with that alcoholic husband that you got who not paying the bills, bitch. That's what you're mad about. You ain't mad at me. Girl, take your anger out on the right nickel, because it damn sure ain't me, girl. Girl, you mad at everybody. Girl, I ain't did nothing to you. Sutton did weaponize what so now we're in this position where Dorita's not gonna want to open up to Sutton, because, girl, if I tell you something and we get into an argument, the first thing you're gonna say is, bitch, you ain't mad at me, you're mad at your life. Anyways, Sutton asking, basically telling Dorit, when it was time to go, when she was talking about her kids, she basically cut Dorit off. I was a Dorit on this one. Like, girl, you supposed to be Miss Manners. girl, I thought you were Miss Manners. I was a Dorit on this one. Girl, like, Sutton said she just didn't know how to say it. Hey, guys, just like they said, girl, hey, guys, I hate to say this. This is a very awkward moment. Maybe we can finish this conversation in the van, but we really have to get going, right? We have to be at Garcel's house. in an hour, and it says it's an hour and 30 minutes with traffic. I don't know. Like, there are so many ways that that Sutton could have said that, but she said it the way she said it, and I'm with Dorit because you just didn't care. You're like, you didn't care and you meant it. like you're not gonna sit here and tell me Miss 140 IQ, ain't that what she said, girl? That you don't really know how to interrupt the conversation and put it in a way that wasn't so, in a way disrespectful. Sutton's wallet comment, girl. I don't know, girl. The way that some of the people acting online is as if, girl, they just don't talk about money in Beverly Hills. No, girl, y'all don't like to talk about the girls being broke. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this: if we can talk about the girls being broke in Atlanta and in Potomac, right? Then we could damn sure talk about these hoes being broke in Beverly Hills, especially when they talk about money all the time. Every time I look up, Erica Jane is mentioning something about Jennifer Tilly and what she has and how much it cost. Girl, my first season 10, I think they had a diamonds event. Remember, I think when the jeweler came by and everybody got to wear the diamonds at Kyle. I think Kyle had a party at her home. So all I'm saying is, girl, we talk about money all the time on these shows. Erica Jane has songs about it's expensive to be me. You've heard Dorit talk about her money, right? Now all of a sudden it's Mad Day, and Sutton says something that has some truth to it, and now all of a sudden, oh my God, 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 girl, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, girl, if this is all it takes for the girls to clutch their purses again to bring Atlanta back into this, y'all not gonna get me to believe that if they acted a fool or they're over there hyperventilating because Sutton basically called Dorit broke, then y'all not gonna get me to believe that if Britt Eady had told Kathy Hilton, I got whips and pistols for bitches like him, girl, whatever she said, girl, you gonna learn to respect me today. You gonna learn to respect me today. Ain't that what Britt told Kenya? I ain't with this Hollywood shit. If Britt had said that to Kathy Hilton, so for Andy to have his white ass down to the podcast, skipping over, acting as if what Britt said was not that serious, let her say that to one of them white ladies. I guarantee you it'll be a big deal then. So don't diminish what Britt said because you don't like the person who she said it to. Because if it will be an issue, and we know it will be an issue with Kathy, it's still an issue with Kenya and anybody else. Because again, the girls are acting a fool because Sutton told Dorit she was broke. You don't live like the Queen of Sheba. You live on a main road. Like, girl, I'm sorry. At this point, Dorit started losing me. My life is full of love. There's a hell of a lot more than a big girl. You can't girl. I'm sorry. Dorit is the easiest read on the stage. You think it's a read by talking about Sutton, who lives in Beverly Hills? It don't matter. It doesn't matter where the bitch lives. She lives in Beverly Hills. It's like in Houston, right? They say one of the richest areas in Houston is River Oaks. It's almost like trying to read somebody who lives in River Oaks and they live on a main road. Girl, or their house might not be behind the fence. Girl, they still live in River Oaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for Dorit, girl, your phone been ringing off the hook because your husband was not paying the bills. The road that you almost lived on, mama, was the road to a homeless shelter. Like, it's not a read that Dorit is giving Sutton, especially with her being in her financial situation. Even with her trying to pull my life is full of love. Is it? Is it? Is it, Dorit? Dorit, your husband, girl, you said your husband was a bad dad. You said that your husband only sees your kids on Saturday nights. Bitch, not even the full day. Girl, he come over Saturday nights when it's time for the kids to go to sleep. You said your husband is an alcoholic, and you said your husband is a monster. And on top of that, after you went through the traumatic experience of being robbed, he got on TV and said that he didn't know if your white ass was being dramatic or if you was having PTSD. After these people broke into your house, he said you was being a drama queen, bitch. Pretty much. So, girl, like, what love are you? That's what I'm saying. Like, ain't no way. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what girl. Sutton had to be doped up on medication because there's no way. There's no way Dorit would have been talking to me like that. It's girl at that point, girl. The gloves are off, girl. Because I said I wasn't gonna mention your wallet no more. But girl, since you trying to downplay where I live, girl, let's talk about where you live. Since you want to talk about love, I know you're not talking about the love that come from your husband. Because you just said the nigga was a monster, girl. And you said he was a bad father. Like Dorit is the easiest read on the stage. And she got the most mouth. Girl, Dorit would have had the game fucked up. Jennifer Tilly was in the corner eating. I was hollering. Because Jennifer Tilly was sitting there eating, watching the show. I love it. And then she says, oh, and then Sutton was starting to get worked up, and then Dorit was like, "Oh, here she comes." I did giggle on that. She was like, "Oh, here she comes. Here she comes." And then she said that Dorit tried to buy somebody. I mean, not Dorit. She said that that Sutton buys people. We'll get more into that next week. Anyways. Girl, that was it, girl. Let me look over these notes quickly. I didn't know that Jennifer Tilly was an Oscar nominee. Shout out to Jennifer Tilly. Girl, yeah, that's it, girl. That's it. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.